Creating real-time dashboards in Power BI. You can see here a real-time dashboard in which the data is updating on near real-time basis. That means there is a lag of at the most a second or two. Now, how to create this dashboard in Power BI? It's very interesting, and I'll show you step-by-step method on how to achieve this kind of functionality. You can see it's updating on a real-time basis. In order to do that, you would need a JSON file, the JSON message. And the JSON message is then read by the Power BI Cloud Service. So on the Power BI Cloud Service for real-time dashboard, you need to create a streaming dataset. A streaming dataset is created on the Power BI Cloud Service, which I'm going to show you step by step. And then an API is activated in order to get the data from a third-party application which is publishing the data in the JSON format. Now, the data needs to be pushed from an API, from any API, and then any program which pushes the data on the API given by the Power BI Cloud. I repeat, an API is generated on Power BI Cloud in order to get the data from any other application. There are multiple other methods as well which can help you get the streaming data set, but this method we are trying is on the API, and then the whole thing we will run it on a Python code. Now, in order to understand the Python code and where to get all of this stuff, all you need to do is go to the videos here on the Python tutorial, and it tells you how to create Python code, where to download the Python code from, and what are the details on the Python code. And then the link to this video is available in the video description section of this current dashboard creation on Power BI, real-time dashboard creation on Power BI below. Now, let's go step by step here. So go to the Power BI Cloud and click on the plus sign to create a streaming dataset API. So let's do that. I'm going to go back, go to workspaces, and then click on this create sign, click on streaming dataset, and then select API. Please note that using Azure Stream and PubNub are other options wherein you can do a live dashboard, real-time streaming dashboard. Now clicking on next, you would need to fill in a dataset name and the columns. Now let's look at what column names you would need. Going back to the presentation here, so you would need surrogate ID, which is going to be an integer, speed would be an integer, date and time. So we would need this in order to push this JSON data coming in from Python. So let's do that. Going back, let's give a name here, BDCS streaming. So I filled this out, BDCS streaming dataset. Let's remove R. So dataset, surrogate ID. Please note that the names of these columns should be same as what JSON is providing. So surrogate ID, number, speed, number, date time, and time, date time. Please look at the values here. This is how a sample JSON script should look like. Now, you can turn on the data, historical data. Historical data meaning you can save the data what is streaming, but I don't want to do that, and I want to click on create here. Now once you click on create, let's see what it provides. So you entered a name on the streaming dataset and the name of the columns and the data types. Number 4 is the Power BI application would provide an API to publish the data. and this is the API which it provides. So this is the URL wherein you would need to push the data. So copy this URL here, copy this URL, and then let's see what we need to do. Go to the Python code. The script to the Python code, as I mentioned, is available in the description section of the video below. You need to run a Python code, or you can do it even in PowerShell or a command line or a batch script or whatever it is. You probably need to look at some other videos on the internet. Now let me just do a hash here. Hash means comment, and then within quotes, single quotes, replace the REST API URL, whatever the URL you received from the Power BI. I'll repeat it again. You copy the URL here from the Power BI portal and paste the URL in the Python code where it says REST API URL parameter. Paste it. And whatever the URL you see existed before, just remove it. Now you need to run the Python code. Now there is a full-blown Python web series which we are providing on our channel. It's free to learn. So if you want to learn Python as well, feel free to do that. So I'm gonna execute the Python code in just a minute. But before that, let me create a dashboard. So click on done here and say create dashboard. Give a name of dashboard. You would say BDCS streaming real-time dashboard. The dashboard name could have been even better, but let's start with this and click on create. Once you have this, click on add tile and select the real-time data, custom streaming data, and then remember whatever the name you put as a streaming data set, click on that, say next, or you can add the streaming data set from here, which you don't want to do. You already got that. Click on next, and please note that for streaming data sets you have very limited options in terms of what you can display from a visualization perspective. So let's start with card, say add value, and here I'm going to add speed, and just you can fill the details, but for now just say apply, and I'll close this. I'll again add one more, the same method, real time, next, this streaming data set, next, and then clustered bar charts. I'm just taking line for example. I add a value time, so time is going to drive that, and then add values speed, and then show it for last 5 minutes. So 5 minutes of window display. You can change it to whatever you want, but 5 minutes is more than enough. You can turn it to minutes or seconds and say next, say apply. Now this is created. It's time for us to run the Python script. So let's run the Python script. I'm just arranging it so that it looks good. So go to Python script and right click and run. So you can see that it started publishing the data set. Now as soon as you ran this Python script, the data started refreshing on the Power BI dashboard. And this is how you create a real-time dashboard. You can see the speed is varying. You can add a lot of other columns. If you look at the Python script, it's going to help you do that. Again, the Python script video description is mentioned in the description section of the video below. So look at the description section, you would see the link of the Python code there. So use the Python code to publish the dataset, which we have done. Now Python code can be found here, so the link is here. Use the API underscore Power BI Python file. This is the same file which I have shown you here, API underscore Power BI.py. And then if you want to get the code description on how to execute the code, this is the YouTube link where you can get the Python code. And then hands-on exercise number 55, create a real-time streaming dashboard using the Python code shown above. Let's see if you can do it, and then think about how to add more columns, add more data, and see if you can create that. Thank you for watching.